Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What is the most overrated food you're convinced people are just pretending to enjoy? Cakes with fondant. Disgusting. I don't want to have to peel back the marshmallow foreskin from a piece of cake to make it edible. Rolling on the floor laughing marshmallow foreskin skull. As a sculpted cake artist, I now feel at least partially obligated to produce a penis cake with a retractable, fondant foreskin. Foods with gold flakes. I lived in Japan in the boom years of the 1980s, which was an amazing time to be there. I spent New Year's, probably the biggest holiday of the year, at a friend's place. His dad pulled out a very nice bottle of sake with bits of gold leaf flakes in it and served some to me. I asked why they put gold leaf flakes in it, and he laughed and said, "So you can shit gold." Which I guess really is the point. Shitting gold. For the right person, that'd really put the gin in kinky. I feel like the answer for a lot of people is grapefruit, but I fucking love grapefruit. I hate grapefruit. Not because of the flavor. But the first time I tried one I stuck a spoon in it and it squirted its citrusy juice right into my eye. I've never forgiven them. Congratulations, you are the first person I've ever seen hold a grudge against a fruit. I'm convinced that the 4 billion or so people who love their food 10-star spicy hot are simply engaged in an elaborate conspiracy to troll me personally. I gave someone a spoon of Da Bomb hot sauce once. She did not react at all. That's when I realized there are different levels to people's spice tolerance. I like spicy, but I like it to taste good. Da Bomb does not taste good. Once I was sharing a pizza with a friend, and it had strips of bell peppers on it, and dude acted like he was going to die from the heat, even after taking them off. I love spicy food, but I had never even thought of bell peppers as spicy. Quote. Twizzlers. Fruit-flavored window sealant. My mom loves them. She buys giant bags, containers of them when she can. I think she just likes the texture, especially when she is stressed out. Like a dog with a rawhide. I too am obsessed with them, and it is 100% the texture. Dog with a rawhide is a freaking hilarious and spot on. Tears of joy. Bacon strips. Smells like bacon, but I just can't get into it. Props to people who can, but not me. Way back in ancient online history, 2003, there was a guy named Steve. Steve had a blog called, "Steve, Don't Eat It." Steve made a BLT with bacon strips and the result was just awesome. Since this is an archive, I can only link the main page. The bacon strips BLT is third down the page, but by all means read all of Steve's stuff. It's gold. Steve, don't eat it. Steve, don't eat it. In closing, the only silver lining to this dark cloud is I have figured out why so many dogs lick their own assholes. They are trying to kill the taste of bacon strips. By the way, it doesn't work. Thanks for that red ha ha ha. Pepperoni is far better. Sausages. I used to piss off my parents after I moved out. For a number of years, they still had the dog we'd had since I was like 8. I loved that dog and he was always so excited to see me. One year in college I brought him a pack of sausages as an Xmas present. He loved those fucking things and they absolutely wrecked him. He got the stinkiest farts from just a couple. My mom would get so mad. The dog would be laying down at her feet, let one go and then get up and run away. A few seconds later she'd be like, "OMG, what the hell?" Quote, "Did I get more the next year? You're damned right I did." Raw oysters for me. So expensive, maybe gonna make you seriously sick, and tastes like cold mermaid vagina with lemon juice. I've never had mermaid vagina. Is it better warm? Most vaginas are. Not sure where you are, but freshness affects oyster taste a lot. 1 day difference is huge. Not near the ocean, so that's probably why I feel unfavorably towards them. Leaving tails on shrimp in a pasta dish. People who do this should be forced to eat an entire pasta dish with nothing but the tails. Oops. All tails. Fried shrimp. I'm gonna go a different direction on this, but I'm gonna say the McRib. How very dare you. Fun fact, it's a permanent menu item in Germany. I tried one years ago because of all the hype, expecting it to be good in that nasty fast food sort of way. I'm no snob and I can throw down with nasty fast food. That McRib can go straight to hell. It was fucking gross. I get one every year. Just one. For nostalgia purposes, so disappointing every time. Everything in the comments doesn't surprise me, even if it's something I like. I am surprised how many people are saying truffle though. I love that shit. The trick with truffle is that you need context to know if you are talking about chocolate or mushrooms. I am always wrong somehow. My favorite are those sweet luscious truffles we have around Christmas time that the pigs sniffed out in the forest. I like truffle. I'm not a snob, so I even like truffle-flavored, fake truffle things. But, it's really easy to go too hard on fake truffle. And I suspect that's what's happening to the folks who say they dislike truffles. Black truffle is heavenly, and truffle oil is disgusting. Unfortunately, truffle oil is super cheap and fancies up your local burger joint's fries, so that's what most people associate truffles with. Love truffle oil. Even the fake shit. No, I can't tell. I'm just making the reasonable assumption that most or all of what I've had is fake because it probably was. Matcha. Why yes, I'll have a cup of hot grass clippings. I was convinced I hated matcha before I traveled to Japan. It just blew my mind there that it can taste really, really good. Common, food grade, matcha is better suited to use in baking and tends to have a grassier flavor, but a nice high quality matcha from a Japanese tea company is delicious to drink. I've tried a variety of lower end matcha and I can instantly see how you can develop that opinion, but if you've never tried a high quality matcha, I would highly recommend it. Matcha from Starbucks and most other coffee shops are most likely a pre-made powder mix, which is pretty bad compared to the real stuff. Those giant milkshakes with absurd toppings like a slice of cake, jumbo swirly lollipop, and cotton candy, fairy floss. Soft ice cream shortcake lollipop. I actually had one in at the legendary milkshake bar in Nashville. The milkshake was meh, but the brownie on top, absolutely the best brownie I have ever had. That's purely in the category of food you buy to put on social media. Red Bull. It's like, is no one else tasting how utterly awful it is? Looks like I might be alone, but I fucking love the taste of Red Bull. Plus the wings are an added bonus. Ice cold Red Bull tastes lovely. It's the taurine. You either acquire a taste for it, or you don't. For me, it's guarana. I think that's why I slightly prefer Monster to Red Bull, though I like both. Sometimes I get cans of just guarana, but they're super sweet and expensive to get in the US. As a very wise man once said, I think haggis is repellent in every way. In fact, I think most Scottish cuisine is based on a dare. Quote, I actually like haggis. The key is to not think too hard about what you're eating. I don't get the squeamishness that some meat eaters have towards haggis and black pudding. Most are happy to snaffle down bumholes and eyelids in their sausages. Head. Pants. Now. Quote, look at the size of that boy's melon. Any of those American monstrosities where they pack a ton of chocolates and candies into one big cake or whatever it is. When you put all those amazing sweets into one glob, you don't really get to enjoy the good parts as much as this mesh of sugar with some hints of flavor. As an American, I can assure you that not a lot of people will actually eat that stuff. It's just to garner attention on short-span entertainment. Just so you know, those things are made with the intent to be ridiculous and polarizing. It's very self-aware marketing. Yeah, as an American, this is most certainly not a thing in real life. This isn't just an American thing. Almost every country does extravagantly stupid Instagram foods. I mean, who wouldn't want a burger with 5 patties, bacon, chicken, a slice of lasagna, no salad, then covered in melted cheese and sprinkled with M&Ms? Looking at you, Brazilian desert pizza. Eyes. All that insanely spicy stuff. I cannot understand why it's a bragging point with people. I like medium spicy stuff, but once it's actually painful and I taste the spice more than the main ingredients, it's not even enjoyable. I'm convinced people taste spicy differently. I absolutely love the flavor of super spicy food. People definitely experience spice differently, and you can build up a tolerance. It's like coffee or alcohol. Once you build up a tolerance to it, you start tasting the other flavors of the chilies, and the heat doesn't hide the subtler flavors in your foods. Habaneros have some really great fruity flavors to them if the heat doesn't kill you. I hated alcohol and black coffee as a kid, but now I can appreciate neat bourbons and black coffee because the bitterness of the coffee and the heat of the alcohol doesn't bother me. As a kid, 16 to 19, there was absolutely some level of brigadiousness to it. Now, I juicy like the flavors and the endorphin rush. It's like a mini workout. I'll also go through phases where I simply crave spice, though I haven't figured out why. I seem to be in one right now. Jalapenos, red pepper flakes, or Thai chili flakes are going in or on everything at the moment. When I push my spice tolerance, I don't really brag about it. It's more of a, is it really that spicy though? Quote. It's weird, but when you eat spicy stuff, you just want it spicier and spicier. I go through stages from little to no spice to putting chili powder on my apples, and everything else I eat. Boasting about it is silly though. It means nothing. Shark fin soup. Shark fin is essentially flavorless and evil. Imagine being tossed limbless and screaming into the sea while sharks dine on knee and elbow soup. More like being tossed limbless on a beach so the gulls can get at you, but yeah, terrifying. Kombucha. I've tried 10 or so different flavors of kombucha, and they've either tasted like a good complex fruit juice, or like moldy socks, with no in between. Yay, that stuff smells like a bag of belly buttons. Feastables. It tastes like somebody whispered chocolate in the next room. Liqueur of candy. I tried Feastables and I tried Prime. They're both unbelievably bad. Feastables is extremely low quality chocolate. It's dry and has a deeply unpleasant bitterness that sticks with you. You are left with the sensation that you've eaten a prop, like this was never actually meant for consumption. Like you've accidentally eaten a small bar of brown sawdust. It's also like the absolute worst name for whatever it is, like chocolate bars or something, right? It sounds like cat food. Yeah, and the lunchy crap is next on the list. Caviar. Caviar is just rich people's salt. It's pretty good on a lot of things. Disagree that it's salt, it's far more of a umami flavor. Rich people MSG. I've found there is a vast difference between good and bad caviar as well as proper accompaniments.